Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope it finds you in a great point in life, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And if not, hopefully something I say today can encourage or inspire you. I'm going to hop right into this new video right here that I have for y'all today. First of all, it feels amazing outside. Just got done playing basketball. I seem to always be doing that, but I come outside and I'm like, man, it feels a little warmer. And then I see the weather for today, and again, another good weekend of, it's kind of cloudy, but another reason to be happy after some cold weather this week. So I hope your day is full of sunshine. Anyway, let's get straight to it. So I was talking with somebody about animals, and one of the things that we was discussing was like wolves and dogs. And I was saying how I remember when I was back in college at the illustrious North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie Pride, it was nationwide. I didn't graduate, but it's cool. Anyway, on a serious note, what I didn't realize is that dogs and wolves are like the same. Like, one is just domesticated and one isn't. I think I'm saying that right. But the thing that blew my mind was, I just always thought there was like, they weren't the same species, but of course they can procreate. Anyway, here's the point. As we was talking about that, because I forgot where we was going. I forgot where we were going with the conversation that day. But we had that conversation, and then I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast, and they was talking about like some wolves, and out of nowhere, it's like God spoke to me. He spoke to me because time I heard the term lone wolf, immediately all the light bulbs went off. And so what I'm here today to do is just encourage you to just ask yourself, do you have a wolf pack or a dog pound? All right. And so, hence the name of the video, lone wolf, hashtag dog pound or wolf pack. Now, to be very brutally honest, I can definitely relate to being a lone wolf. All right. For people who may not know, a lone wolf is an actual wolf or a person that is that are basically kind of a loner. They're off to themselves. They have strayed away from either family, or if you're talking about the animal, from their pack. Okay, and sometimes it may be a thing, especially with animals, it's a thing where maybe they've been ousted or whatever, or I guess when you think about with family, maybe you've been estranged or something like that. And so I began to once again realize in life how synonymous, some of the things I see around me is to my personal life. And so today I hope that, what I share with you can help you question yourself and ask yourself, am I a lone wolf? And the thing is, what I realized is, a lot of us, we would say we're not a lone wolf, but then when we look at the reason why we do things, and when we really, really hold ourselves accountable to our actions, we begin to realize that we have the characteristics of a lone wolf. And so it led me to realize that sometimes you can not be a lone wolf overall, but in certain areas you are. So maybe you're that person that, you're a people's person. And matter of fact, let me speak about myself, because I always like to relate in all my videos. I was estranged from my family for a while. Not all my family, but like the immediate family. My dad and my stepmom, and I thank God now that all that's in the past. And I won't get into everything that happened, but it happened. And the thing is, later on in life, after I got grown, this happened after I was 17, and so years later, I began to realize that through my actions with certain things and the way I handle people, that I became a loner. I became that person that, I always thought about my family, right? And even the ones that, that had no issues with, but there was a side of me that never felt the need to want to really reach out, or I did feel the need to do it, but for some reason, I just, like, my mom would say, no, Kenny, like, sometimes it would be good thoughts, sometimes it would just be bad ones. And the bad ones really were my mom reminding me of the issues that went on with my immediate family and feeling like, okay, this is going to happen again. Or I begin to take that mentality of, why get close to people whenever, I'm just going to be hurt. And the thing is, I never literally said that, but my actions showed that. Also, there became a point in time in my life where, I realized when I was going through something, I would just withdraw. I would withdraw from people. I would withdraw from, even if it'd be like, withdrawal might be, I go to work, but like, somebody asks how I'm doing, I downplay. Oh, everything's cool, or, just not answering phone calls and things like that. And so I realized that, I definitely had became that lone wolf. And sometimes I think that it's empowering. Sometimes I think it's good that we can go through those stages in our lives. But I think it's important for us to identify, why we are the way we are in those areas. Because sometimes, it may not be positive, but sometimes it can be good. And so what I want to ask you is, not only are you a lone wolf, but what's been the pros and cons with being a lone wolf? Because what I realize is, in most situations, even the lone wolf desires to want to be a part of a pack. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I found myself being drawn to, like when I got to college, I found myself being drawn to wanting to be in a fraternity. Found myself, when I started going back to church, wanted to get into more stuff, and try to be a part of different organizations. I found myself, or some people may find themselves, entertaining games, and again, and not, because I'm not saying all situations are bad, but I just realized that sometimes, even if we try to connect to these other packs, if you will, even when we connect, there's still a disconnection because we've been alone for so long. Okay, and then what happens is, sometimes relationships begin to have issues. Trust becomes a issue, because that whole time you're alone and there's no time to really build trust with people, then it's like I hear God telling me that that's when doubt can start to creep in, And so as much as we try our best to reconnect with people or our pack or our dog pound, or like me, I'm in the military, and you might have a group of some good battle buddies, some good, leadership, and it's just so hard for you to still, just be accountable for people, or it's hard not to take that it's my way or the highway mentality. And sometimes it's good to have that, because when you are alone, you got to have a stronger backbone. You got to, show no weakness, no fear. But I just want to encourage somebody today to really look at yourself and the way you handle people and things, and ask yourself, has this came from being a lone wolf? And if it has, have you taken out time to see the importance of being that lone wolf or that loner? And also, have you taken out time to seek out a pack? And sometimes a pack, to me, I think sometimes a pack could just be like that one person. I was just talking to somebody about this when I was at work on Friday. I feel like, when we really want to grow and we want to overcome some things that we've been dealing with, you got to let somebody in. You got to have somebody that you can be open and honest with, or at least let them know something's going on, because that way we can have some accountability. And I believe that's where the pack comes from, And like I said, the pack can look different. It could be a coworker. It could be, a best friend, some friends. It could be, like I said, maybe you're in college and you join a sorority or fraternity. Maybe some church folk, but again, I just feel like as people, and even with myself, that's why I started, like, no lie, I started, like, with my family, I just started, like, you know, just remind myself every day, hey, just shoot some texts out. You know, because I realized that, you know, I got mommy and daddy issues. You know what I mean? And the thing is, that stuff can be empowering, though, because if you can look back and see what you've been missing, then there's so much more to look forward to. Now, maybe some things can't really be given back to you, but like I said, I believe there's healing in the pack. You know, there's healing in that dog pound. When I say the dog pound, it's like you know, I call my best friend. That's like my dog. That's my ride or die. You know, and you know, it's interesting how sometimes even some of your closest people may not realize that you're suffering inside internally. You have an issue with connecting with people because you've been alone for so long. You know. So for all my loners out there, hey, I'm here with you. Because I'm a people's person, love to talk. But the hardest thing to say is what I'm not saying. And usually the easiest thing to do is just to say it. Somebody called that. Like, when you have the gift of gab, like, it's so crazy. When you know how you feel, but you just can't verbalize it. And sometimes when you got a pack with you, you got some folk that can hold you accountable. You got some brethren. You got some kin folk. You know, some loved ones that can just be around you enough they can sense it. The same way people who are around you can see that you have a gift and a talent, they're the same ones who can see that you're hurting. But you got to ask yourself, have I been alone so long that it started to affect my everyday life? All right. As always, be blessed, be an example, be encouraged. Please subscribe to the channel. If not, you know, if you know somebody that you can share it with that might be encouraged, please do it.